What it do, man? It's your boy Battle Truth coming to you live and direct from the Battle Truth headquarters. Let's get right off into this, man. So they pulled this plug on DMX, man. They pulled the plug on DMX after the man suffered a heart attack, and sources were saying he was in a vegetable state. This don't come as no surprise to me, man. And it's sad that things happen like this, man. Especially when it comes from your so-called closest loved ones and people you trust. What do I mean by that? See, I'm different when it comes to situations like this. I believe God should be the say-so over life and death. If a person suffer in a situation and it leaves them in a situation where they can't make decisions for themselves, or, they on machines, or, I believe God should be the one that decides whether they live or die. Now, it was being reported that he was hooked up to machines and the machines were keeping him alive because he suffered from allegedly an overdose, which led to a heart attack, which left him in a vegetable state of saying he was somewhat brain dead. I'm going to touch on this a little bit because I have a little experience in this situation, man, dealing with somebody in my family that actually went through this same type of thing. But here's my point, though. When people suffer these situations and crises that happens in their life, and then, they not able to speak for themselves, or if they didn't have a will in play before they died or something like that, to say, in case something like this happened, this is what I want to happen to me. If they didn't do nothing like that, then you should just allow nature to take its course. Like, if that man was living these days hooked up to them machines, whatever little life that's still in him, that's enough to hold on to him. You know what I'm saying? I really don't like when people pull the plugs on people and then decide, no, that's enough, let he or she go. That's not good. Especially when they make up excuses like this to say, well, they suffering, and, well, if they suffering, then they suffering to be so unbearable that they gonna die anyway. So just let things naturally take its course. But when they say things like that, like, no, I don't want to see them suffering or hurting like that, so we pull the switch. But hold on. You pulling the switch on them because you believe they suffering or hurting. You don't really know because they can't respond to you. And you're not in a situation. Or nobody to some degree ain't came out to say, man, that stuff was hurting like that. Why? So you're going to decide what a person going through, even though it's not you. And you're going to make the ultimate decision they can never come back from by pulling the plug on them. That's not cool to me, man. I really don't like that type of stuff like that. Because if I was in a situation like that and I ended up suffering from a heart attack or something like that, and I couldn't speak for myself or something like that, if I'm alive and I'm breathing, rather a machine doing it for me, and I got heartbeat in me, and even if I got a little percent of my brain left, you don't know. You don't know. Let me live. Let me continue to fight. You don't know. You don't know. Let me live. Let me continue to fight. And the situation in this brother's situation is this brother, man, this brother just got through doing the album that haven't been released yet. It just seemed like, and I don't even want to go here, but I got to. I'm sorry, man. I just can't hold it back. This the same thing remind me of Tupac mama. When Tupac was in that situation and his mama decided to pull the plug on him and told the doctors, no, don't let him suffer no more. Just let him go. And she spoke about that and talking about she wanted his soul to be free. How you want your son's soul to be free when you know this man was living a rebellious life? If anything, you want him to hold on to their life, that if by chance the possibility, which may be slim, but that's still a percent, that he can come out of this, or God miraculously have compassion on him to bring him out of this, that it may could turn his life around. Why would you make that decision to do that like that? Only to find out you did it so you could take over his estate, get his royalties, his money, own all his stuff, because we had already knew him and his mama wasn't seeing eye to eye before he died. And the same person who he wasn't seeing eye to eye with get to make a final call like that over his life, only to be awarded all his estate. Like, come on, see, it's stuff like that. Like, if my son or daughter went through something like that, man, I'm not pulling no switch on my kids and my loved ones. Leave them alive. I don't care if they got a little life in them. Until that's gone, let things happen naturally. Naturally. That's the machine job. If the machine is here to keep them alive, okay, well, let the machine do its damn job. Let it keep him alive. Let it keep breathing for him. Let it keep his heart beating. Who knows? Who knows? As long as every day that machine working and he still got life in him, then that lets me know he fighting. He fighting. Come on, man. I don't like that fake stuff like that. Because it always just seemed like, me and my guys were talking about this, say they're going to pull the switch on him, watch. But I thought they was going to do it after the George Floyd trial was over. So that, well, when the verdict of the George Floyd trial happened, so it could go under radar while people focusing on that guilty verdict, that they were going to pull the switch sometime after that trial. Excuse me, sometime after that trial. So it can go under the radar. But they ended up doing it sooner. And my one guy was telling me, like, yeah, they finna pull the switch on them because they got all the family and them coming and everybody coming to say their goodbyes. Which brings me to my story. Now, for those of y'all who don't know my story, my mother was in a similar situation than this. But her stuff was a little bit different. Her stuff was, she had a stroke. Then she later on had an aneurysm in the head, which left her brain dead. You know, they pronounced her brain dead. And she was on machines and stuff like that. And they told us that, you know, she basically was dead and it was the machine that was keeping her alive. And she was in the vegetable state too. And all the family was getting together, going to the hospital to say our last goodbyes, and we were going in the room. They was allowing us in the room 2 at a time. So me and my aunt, it was our time to go in. And when we went in, say our goodbyes and things before they pulled the switch on her, my auntie asked me, she said, sing that song your mama liked you to sing to her before we leave. So I started singing the song she always wanted me to sing. It was New Edition song, I'm With You All the Way. So I was singing that song. And while I was singing that song, my mama started crying while she hooked up to the machine, said to be brain dead. And she started crying. My auntie, which is her sister, was like, nurse, like, come here. And the nurse came over. She's crying. And the nurse was giving some intellectual, scientific reason of why she was crying when she's supposed to just be basically dead and the machine is breathing for her, you know what I'm saying? Like, she wasn't conscious of her surroundings or her emotions, you know. And as she was giving some intellectual reason of why my mother was crying while I was singing, when she's supposed to be dead, basically, or brain dead and not responsive to her surroundings or what's going on, or, you know, unconscious. She told the nurse, like, no, she know her son is here. She started crying when he started singing. She know her son is in here. Sweetheart, sweetheart, give me a water, please. Hold on. Hold on. Hello. Man, I said hello. Terrible. Anyway, so she knew, I mean, she told her, like, no, she know her son is here. She know her son is here. And that's why she crying. She didn't start crying till she heard him singing. So she know this is her son. And would y'all believe, man, my mama lived 7 more years before dying. Before dying, she lived 7 more years. When they was talking about she was, you know, brain dead and out of what, she lived 7 more years, you know. She didn't never get out of the bed, but she was aware, you know what I'm saying, of her situations, and her eye was open. And later on, they took off the machine and she was breathing on her own and everything, you know. And I believe she still probably would be here or in a better situation if she had that's another story though. If she had proper care. Because, you know what, let's get back to DMX. That's another story I just got to tell. But yeah, it was really, really what? It was really, really sad, man, to hear about that, man. And I knew that was gonna happen, man. I knew it was gonna happen because I know how. Wait, baby. I knew how it was gonna happen. Ask yourself. Because I knew how it was going to be, seeing that everything that's on the table, his estate, his royalties, his new album ain't out yet. So I'm like, it's that Tupac thing all over again, man. Like, come on, man. Let the man live, man. Let the man live, man. That's crazy, man. Again, if that man didn't have a written will where he said, if something like this happened to me and I'm in this state, let me go because I don't want to do that. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing people got to be mindful of, and which crazy. If you know your loved ones wasn't living right, and I mean, we know DMX for the most part confessed that he believed in Jesus Christ. He even talked about one day he wanted to become a pastor or something. Get out of my room. He wanted to become a pastor or something like that. Talking to the dog. He wanted to become a pastor or something like that. But he never got around to get his life right. You know what I'm saying? Because he felt in order for him to do that, he had to be more devoted and more dedicated to Jesus Christ, which he wasn't. If you know your loved ones not right with God, why would you send them on that journey? Why would you, I'm talking about, let's just get to real reality, some real, why would you send them on that journey? Off your possibilities, off your hope. No, you better know when you doing something like that. Because the state you think they suffering in, you sending them to a place where they gonna always suffer. You didn't make things better for them. You probably made things worse for them. You probably made things worse for them. And that's where the problem comes in at. and why I don't like this at all. This was terrible, man. That's just my opinion. Y'all can hate it if you want. It's my opinion, man. Let a person live, man. I don't care, man. If you got to pull the switch, that means you killed them. If you had to pull the switch, you killed them. You killed them. Let the machine do its job. The machine ain't complaining about it. He got enough money that could have kept him going. You never know what could have happened. You never know. You never know. Only God knowing. You not God. And you not God. And these people, man, it's bad when you a celebrity or somebody famous and you got a drug habit. Because what happens is your same guys and homies be the ones that want to supply you the dope because you the pipeline to the finances. Think about that. See, I used to sell dope, so I know how this go. Think about knowing you got somebody like DMX or Bobby Brown or Whitney Houston or Rick James on your line, or one of your customers or clientele. Man, please, you're going to keep them dudes loaded up with the best dope, which makes their chances of dying like this more certain than those who not celebrities who get the cheaper version of dope. When you a celebrity like DMX, they going to give them the best crack, the best heroin, the best weed, the best, whatever the best, they going to get the top of the line, which makes it more potent, which keeps them in a state of addiction, and which makes their situation like this more certain, because they gonna want to drink. They know they good for it. They know they good for it, man. And it'll be your same homies and guys who claim to be dope dealers giving you the dope because they know you got royalties coming in. Know this man and went platinum, got all this platinum stuff still coming through on him and things like that, man. Know he got something, man. They gonna keep that man loaded with dope everywhere he looks, especially if people know it. If people know it, then everybody battling over him. Everybody battling over him. Like, they jealous. He messing with somebody. I'm like, no, you ain't got to get it from him, man. Get it from me. Look, this on the house. Or now he got 4-5 people giving him dope. Come on, man. Come on, so. It's crazy, man. Crazy, man. You know, you leave behind all them kids. He under that controlled substance, battling all them demons, wrestling with life, straddling the fence between God and evil. Then things like this happen to you. And now your own judgment and choices is out of your hand and put in another person's hand. So your wife, who now finna become a widow, get all your estate or whatever, and another nigga enjoying your wealth. Terrible, man. Stuff like that. Stuff like that, man. Let a brother live. Let him live. But it is what it is, man. Can't take nothing back, man. It happened. He gone. And see, I don't never say rest in peace to people, especially if I don't know if they was ever right with God. So I never say rest in peace, because I know that's not true. That's not true. No matter how people feel, people say that so that they can satisfy their own guilt, their own conscience. I don't never say rest in peace. I don't care who it is, because you just never know. And if you don't have your life right with Christ, man, you're not resting in peace. You're not resting in peace at all. Period. And this is a reminder to people, man, that living out there, man. Death should be a reminder to us who have life, that eventually, sooner or later, that may become one of us. So you want to make sure your life is right with Christ, man, so that if anything happened to you, you know you okay. That man didn't know he was going to have a heart attack. That man didn't know he was going to overdose. But it happened, and it was too late for him to get it right. It ain't too late for you. It ain't too late for you. That's why no matter what you're struggling with, no matter what you're going through, listen, man, make sure you right with God. All those other things, God will give you the power to overcome if you honest and allow him to do what he have to do. That's sad though, man. You know? My condolences go out to his children though, who will be fatherless, and all his family and loved ones who really loved him, who didn't have a say-so in the situation and things was out of their hand. And look, man, let a person live. Don't make those calls. Don't make those calls. If a person still got a little life in him, breath in him, a heartbeat, let it beat till he can't beat again. Let him breathe till he can't breathe no more. Leave that up to God. Let God be God. We need to stop trying to play God. Let God be God. It's the doctor's job to bring him back. It's their job to bring him back. Because guess what? If God say, look, no matter what the doctors do, he's not coming back. So if he slipped out and they brought him back, then guess what? He still was fighting. So I don't know, man. I just think differently on that, you know? And brothers and sisters just need to be mindful of this, you know? Mindful of this for the simple fact that it could have been any one of us. We all got things in our families, and man, it's one in every family. It could have been any one of our family. We got drug dealers and fiends all in our families. Man, leave that stuff alone, man. Because even though DMX is one of the popular ones that made the news and worldwide, everybody talking about and maybe mourning, let me just tell you, his life has no less value or no more value than anybody else. Anybody else that we don't hear about, that we don't know about. His life ain't no more valuable than theirs, who we don't hear about. No more, no less. It's still a life. It's still a life that's gone too soon. For real. It's gone too soon. So condolences to his children. May your sons grow up to be a better man. May his daughters grow up to be better women. May they learn, oh my gosh, man. May they learn to keep their head right, man, and just be strong, man. It's your boy, Battle Truth. It ain't my judgment. That's a question. It's yours. Subscribe to Battle Truth.